I believe that in my world, you should try everything, short of perhaps hardcore or something like that.
Will it bother you if you get bad reviews?
I won't get bad reviews. I don't see how anybody will be able to criticize it. I would like to be remembered as an actor who was different and an actor who really could sing.
So the first question, why have you recorded this album now? I mean, you're 84, you're a legend. Why can't you just rest on your laurels, take it easy?
It's a second career, isn't it? I'm already booked for a couple of movies, and I've always sung, but people don't really think of me as a singer. They think of me mainly as an actor, and it's always been slightly frustrating for me that I've never been able to show to people that there is enough string to the bow. And so finally, and it takes time, although I have made other recordings, I've got an album together in which I sing one aria, which is, if you like, operatic, the Song of the Toreador from Carmen. But it's not an operatic background, it's flamenco. It's the dancing and the guitars. Also, I sing it. The same thing again with a heavy metal background. And so you've got flamenco and heavy metal and also popular lyrical music. Man of La Mancha and Oklahoma and things like that. And Wandering Star and The Little Drummer Boy and Silent Night. I want personally to keep on doing this because a lot of people have expressed great interest in doing not the whole album with me, but part of an album. That is to say, I was in New York last week, and Il Divo said they would be very interested in doing a song, or maybe two. I would join in the recording. And also, Rhapsody would probably like me to do something again, because I'd done this one already. And Man o' War have approached me about doing one as well. But again, I would not be singing heavy metal. I would be singing lyrically, which is a very different thing. And so there are many approaches. I was even told that Placido Domingo was interested. And that would be really something, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
And the thing is, of course, to find the right song, the right kind of song that we can all sing together. And this started in a way, although it didn't happen, many, many, many years ago when David Bowie asked me if I would like to make a record with him. And I met him in some offices in Regent Street. A very nice man. And we just couldn't find something that would be right for his voice, a style of singing, and my voice, which is really an operatic voice, because it always has been. But I'm not limited to singing opera, and I wouldn't want to, because I'm not an opera singer. And I think, if I may say so, that this is unique in the history of recording, because I've never heard of anybody of my age making an album with so many different songs. I've tried to imprint my own conception of the characters into the songs. All right, it's an actor who sings, and there will be some people who say, oh, not another singer, or another actor, or another actor who thinks he's a singer, or a singer who thinks he's an actor. I am an actor, and I have been for 60 years, and I can sing. I wouldn't be foolish enough to make an album, nor would anybody make it with me if I couldn't. And this goes from very deep bass, Wandering Star, up to quite high in the baritone with the Toreador. And I'm playing the characters. This, as an actor, I can do with my voice. I sing my way. which of course famously associated with Sinatra,
Why did you choose My Way?
because it's a great song, and I saw Sinatra sing it, and it was one of his most famous. But I don't attempt to copy anybody in the way they sing. I'm singing this song my way.
What about, you touched on it, what about those people who say, well, you are an actor to us, you always will be one of the sort of legendary actors, you know, leave the singing behind?
They're going to get a big surprise. A big, big, big surprise. Because there are at least 6 countries already. There's here, of course. There's Spain, there's Germany, already have ordered very large quantities. And there will be the USA as well, because they've heard it in New York, some people, and they think it's amazing. Because I wouldn't be foolish enough, because you listen to it, I hope, I wouldn't be foolish enough to do this album if I couldn't do it properly. And I think I've succeeded. And all the work that's gone into it, you can imagine, is vast. And it's fascinating. And we've also done a DVD. And the DVD, of course, has real people doing real things, and also wonderful backgrounds. For instance, that one on the front of the album is a bull ring, because the Toreador is a bullfighter. And
did you go to Spain to shoot that video?
No, it didn't need to. But he's a bullfighter, and the action of Carmen, as many, many people know, takes place in Seville. So we show bull rings outside and inside.
Can I ask you, what was it like making pop videos?
I believe that in my world, you should try everything. Sort of perhaps hardcore or something like that. But it was a great conductor, who is dead now, a British conductor called Sir Thomas Beecham, who once said one should try everything in life except incest and folk dancing. And I'm not saying that those are my lines, they're not. But I do believe that if you have more than, let's say, one talent, and you can do more than one thing, if the opportunity comes along and people are prepared to go along with it, you should do it, and do it before it's too late. And this is going to surprise people, because they don't think of me as a singer. I have sung in films, briefly, but not these songs, and not this way.
Will it bother you if you get bad reviews?
I won't get bad reviews. How can they possibly review me if they listen to these songs? I mean, let's face it, bad reviews are worldwide. I've seen bad reviews for wonderful films. I've seen bad reviews for marvelous performances, both opera, both theatre, for television, for film. It comes along usually because the critic wants to glorify himself or herself by being as bitchy as possible, and it sells papers. They're usually wrong, of course. You ought to remember, it's only the opinion of one person. Now, in the old days, and I'm talking about sort of 40s and 50s, the butchers of Broadway, as they call them, the critics, they could affect a play and get it taken off almost the next day. Critics can't affect films at all, because they're made for the public. They're made for people like you and everybody else. This record that I've made is for the public. It's not to glorify me, the actor. It's something they don't expect, which will be an enormous surprise. And it is well done, and I don't see how anybody will be able to criticize it, although inevitably there will be somebody who will say, well, I mean, you know, this tempo and this way of singing it is not the way it was written. It won't be correct. But it doesn't bother me, let's put it that way. I mean, you've heard of many actors, and I still say actresses for the ladies, who say they don't read reviews, don't read critics. I often wonder if that's true. I personally try to avoid it. And I've been in films which I know are going to get bad reviews, because I know they're not very good movies. I've known that. But, well, I've always done the best I can, and it may sound very vain to say this, but I've very, very seldom received a bad review myself for my performance, because I've always tried to do the best I can, even though the result as a film is not good. And that's the only thing you can do, your best. I've done my best with this record, and there wouldn't be people in Germany and America and here and other European countries buying this record if they didn't think it was going to sell.
What about the film career then?
Well, I can't tell you what I'm going to do because the contracts aren't signed. Also, like most actors, I'm very superstitious. And I have in the past made the mistake of saying to somebody, well, yes, I'm going to do this, because the deal had been done and it fell through. The money suddenly disappeared or whatever. So I'm very superstitious about that. I simply say I've been asked to do actually 10 films in the last 18 months, and not one of them has been made because the money wasn't there. Didn't stop them asking me, and even doing a deal with my agent for the money, for my money. But when my agent says, what about the dates, when do you want him, when's he start? That's the end of the conversation, which tells you right away they haven't got the money. In the next two cases, they do definitely have the money. And I'm going to do it, please God, and it'll be terrific.
But you are going to give more attention now to your singing career, now that you've got this album off the ground.
I'm going to do another album, yes, but...
What about a tour?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
No, I mean, 84, come on. A different city every night. One of my very best friends, and I sing one of his songs because he was the first person to sing it after the war here in London. I think Oklahoma was the first American musical to come here. I think. I'm not too sure of this. But the star of it was Howard Keel, who was a great friend of mine. Great, great friend. He died about a year ago, or less. He was about the same age as me, might have been a bit older, I think. Anyway, he did. And we used to sing at each other on the golf course, which made a lot of people laugh, and fortunately. And I remember he came here quite frequently, up till the age of about 80. And he did go from city to city to city to city. One-night stands, you might say. I remember when he was at the Albert Hall, I remember saying to him, Howard, really, come on, you aren't a child anymore. He said, I know that now. He said, I won't be doing it again. I won't be doing it again. There's no point. It's a question of stamina and health. I have the stamina and, cross fingers, I have the health. But you just don't know. You might be able to sing something one night and something might happen like laryngitis or something, and boom, you can't sing the next night.
Did someone approach you with this album, or did you approach them?
No, I was approached.
And you chose the songs yourself?
We all did.
All together?
Yeah, we all did.
You appeal to fans of many years ago from the Dracula films,
Sure.
a more modern audience, of course, Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and now Christopher Lee the singer. How would you like to be remembered?
Well, I'm not going to say what Laurence Olivier said. I think he said something like a workman, or something like that. Something which I thought degraded the art of acting, if you like to put it that way, because it is an art, it is a vocation. I would think I would like to be remembered as an actor who was different, that there wasn't anybody really like him during his lifetime. I would like to be remembered for some of the films that I was in, and certainly not remembered for some of the other films that I was also in. But I would like to be remembered as an actor who was different, and an actor who really could sing.
Okay.
What more can one ask for?
Okay, that's great stuff. Can I just ask you one question? We're going to be totally. I just have to ask you one question on behalf of our radio colleagues.
You're going to use all this?
We're going to use quite a chunk of it, and also out there they'll use it on radio and on. You know, we have so many different outlets now.
Well, I think I've said everything that needs to be said.
I just wanted to ask you one more question. You have been in a James Bond film, and obviously the buzz at the moment in the film world is the new James Bond that's coming. Everyone's had their say on Daniel Craig, the new James Bond. What do you think of him as somebody who knows the industry perhaps better than most?
Well, I can't give you an answer because I've never seen him in anything. And he certainly got the physique. And he may, for all I know, be a very good actor. But playing Bond is not an easy thing. Ian Fleming was my cousin. And so I think I probably know more about the real James Bond and the person he had in mind and so on and so on. Than anyone alive, because we used to have long conversations on the golf course. And for me, the best was Pierce Brosnan, because he had all the necessary qualities, and he wasn't too brutal or too heavy. And I think he was the best. I've no idea what Daniel Craig would be like. I've no idea. Some people are complaining that he's blonde. Well, you might as well say that you can't play this or that part because you're red-headed or whatever. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know the story. I mean, if it is the original Casino Royale, of course I do know the story, because that was the first book to come out. But how he will play it, I have no idea. I believe the trailers are out in the cinemas, aren't they? And said, excuse me, I'm making a noise with this chair, and said, come and sing to me tomorrow morning in the Opera House in Stockholm at 11 o'clock. And I thought, good God, no training, no warming up, no accompanist, just stand there on the stage and sing.
That's amazing.
But the man who told me to come and sing to him was the greatest tenor in the world. A Swedish tenor who was known as the Caruso of the North, who sang all over the world. He came here, I saw him. His name was Jussi, Jussi Björling, Bjoerling. I had become a singer. I certainly wouldn't be working now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You must never make any gestures, movements, unless they do mean something. So just waving your arms around, waving your hands around means nothing at all.
Yeah.
But if I want to say to you, this is a very important, you see, that is emphasizing it.